Greetings to you all from my new microphone. It's me, Hozell Francis. Some of you may know me as Snoop. I'm here with my guy,
Armon D. Patrick. You know what to do.
He hit you with the Armon D. Patrick. You know you get real fit. Ever since you got this new microphone, you sure have changed. You know what I'm saying? Wow, but I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get professional. We're making the proper upgrades. I know you haven't seen this in a while. It's because we were out in the rain begging for change so we can afford these microphones. Just joking. Anyway, we just, took a little time to, try and get this thing right so we can make sure we give you a proper product. And so, what's going on with you, Armon? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. It's the new year. Not the new year, new me type stuff, but
okay.
It's a good start to the year.
Okay.
Building on habits that needed to grow. Yeah, a lot of that.
Do you care to share any of those?
Yeah. So as far as just like having consistency in community, something that's kind of fell off. It's like when you like finish school or finish like undergrad, like you're kind of just in a new season. Like the flow that you had, the rhythm that you had, it's kind of just different. Mm-hmm. And so I was just noticing. I was like, man, like I feel like I'm a hermit. I go to class, come to church, go to work, go to sleep, eat, go on Zoom with my girlfriend, and go to bed. Like that's it. Like that's my day. And it's like, dang, like I haven't seen hide nor hair of friends and like people that I've built relationships with over time. So that's something I'm trying to incorporate back in, both via Zoom and in person. So that's been really helpful so far. And then the other thing is, have this 24-hour fitness pass, man. We got to get big out here. I don't know what I've been doing.
Man,
I'm letting months roll by.
No hurt, no big shirt. No pain, no gain.
So, trying to make sure, like, after we get out of here, hop in the gym at least for an hour, pump the iron, feel the burn, feel the pain.
All right, okay.
So we can get the gains.
Look, man.
Bars.
So I'm saying, like, okay, yeah, I hear the fight. But I'm saying, like, okay, so y'all gonna see, like, what? About Youth Day, about June.
Oh.
Armon gonna be walking through every door sideways. He's gonna be so bulky. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's cool. A couple of things that you said that kind of stuck out was like, checking in. Like with those people that you do have those relationships with, and making sure not only that you check in for your own purposes, but
sure.
Also you never know what they're going through.
Big time.
And those relationships that we've already kind of like put out there or put together, they go a long way at the right time, so you never know when you need to check in on somebody, or sometimes you do know actually. Mm-hmm. But we put it off too much, you know what I'm saying? I know we do. I'm guilty. But yeah, that's me. Same thing, chilling, working.
Last semester.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some stuff, man. I got a couple tricks up my sleeve, man. We gonna see. Look, I gotta get through it first when I start talking about all that, but. Yeah, just staying focused, bro. Trying to, work out a little something, get the gun back right, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I think it's a matter of stewardship sometimes, where it's like, you got this body, it's fully functional, at least for the time being, right?
Yeah.
So get what you can, you know what I mean? Don't dog it, but, get what you can from it, because you never know.
You don't.
I'm just saying. So, yeah, we've been talking about service this month. So, what do you think about service? Like, how does service kind of like strike your mind when you hear the word service? What comes to mind?
When I think about service, similarly kind of combines with sacrifice. And we talked about that a couple months ago. But I think just like looking to count others more significant than yourself, that kind of idea, that kind of focus of putting somebody else's needs and concerns first, for their good is kind of where my hat kind of likes to sit.
Okay. All right. So, in what ways do you find yourself giving service to others?
I think in a number of different ways. I think, just giving my time, whether that's, providing rides for people, trying to get to and from different locations, whether it's to church or it's to get to the school or get to, different places that they need to go. I think, the Lord has blessed me with a little bit in the chromosome. So just like my brain, and just providing wisdom, Christ-like focused wisdom, in different situations and scenarios people find themselves in, in relationships or dealing with family dynamics or trying to figure out, what's the right next step forward, in their life, and then also just like trying to like show up and encourage people. And, that's kind of ultimately fleshed itself out and why I'm continuing to pursue education and counseling. Is because, I have a desire to see people restored. I have a desire to see people, Lord willing, fully encompassed and built to be who God created them to be.
Okay. You spend that. You started with the bars, but now it's like you're just gradually building up. It's like it's turning into a significant thing here. The ramifications are quite extraordinary.
Remarkable, Patrick. Remarkable.
Right. But I mean, like even with service, I mean, in general, I think there's like that aspect of sacrifice, right? Where it's like, is it really service unless you're like going through some type of a inconvenience to a certain extent, right? Because like even though it doesn't have to be a major inconvenience, there's still the element of I'm doing something that I wouldn't, really want to do or usually do, right?
Right.
So like even like if I go downtown or wherever to pass out soup or jackets, whatever, right? Excuse me. It's not like I'm so inconvenienced because I'm passing out the jackets. It may be that the inconvenience is that I would just want to be laying in the bed. It's not being there as much as it is getting up to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I found that when I'm in those situations, I'm more rewarded when I do whatever it is that I do, or like when I accomplish whatever it is that I went out to accomplish by providing that service. And not to say that I'm always just angry when I start off, but there has to be, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're smarter than I am, like that element of, I'm just like inconvenienced right now.
Yep. That's a huge aspect. I mean, I think, again, even just the concept of like counting others more significant than yourselves. That means, I heard this quote one time where it talks about humility of like, it's not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking about yourself less. Mm-hmm. That's a subtle difference, but it's there. And the difference is, I'm putting my needs aside. I'm putting my wants aside. I'm putting my comforts and desires aside for the betterment of somebody else. Okay. Or for the greater good of God, ultimately.
Right. I see you.
And it can be both and.
It should be. I would say it should be both and. Like, of course, like, the priority is to glorify God, but the reality is that we're dealing with people right here, right now, today, tomorrow, whatever the case may be. It says the poor are going to be with you always, right? Mm. So, like, it's always going to be an opportunity to help somebody. I think what we see as poverty usually centers itself on finance, right? And it's all about you're broke, you ain't got the shoes, you ain't got the car, you ain't got the house, you ain't got the water, whatever the case may be. But then we don't really spend that time looking at the emotional or spiritual poverty that people are suffering from, including ourselves, right? And so it's like, what you're talking about with counseling and everything, people are emotionally impoverished, right? And then they become spiritually impoverished. And then, they may start making decisions that put them in a financial predicament. But it's like when you really understand the true core of the service and the purpose of it, like you're talking about being restored, then we can address people the right way. And I can say, you know what? It's not more important for me to watch my favorite movie or, lay in the bed on the app all day. I need to go get up and help somebody. And so I think as Christians, we should have that mindset, but we also get caught up in a kind of like a class structure, mm-hmm. where we think like, well, now that I'm a Christian or now that I'm a believer or because I'm a believer, whatever the case may be, I'm better than the next person and they not really performing to the standards that God wants them to perform to. So I'm justified in, just cutting them off and not dealing with them at all. And I think that's a wrong approach. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, there's a time when you cut people off, but you can't just go around cutting people off because you don't feel like dealing with them.
Right. I mean, there's a level of, patience that you gotta have as well. Like when you're working with people, you're trying to serve people. Like, we all tore up from the flow up. Period. It don't matter where you're at, where you're from, what your situation is. We all got something that's wrong. And so having a level of patience, a level of kindness, and of empathy, to say, you know what, like, I know you got like X amount of things going on, but I want to walk with you. I want to, work with you on what you got going on right now. I want to try to provide assistance. I want to provide encouragement. I want to try to provide resources. I want to provide, what I can do. And I think that's something we got to remember too, is like, you can only do what you can do. Like, not beating yourself up, not getting on yourself. Cause like, man, I can't give this person the world. I can't, make, heaven and earth shake. But it's like, God has gifted us, as human beings, with skills, talents, gifts to be able to serve people, serve people well, even if it's not the same way someone else does. But I think it's the heart posture that really has to be there more than anything else. Not so much what am I doing specifically, but like, is the heart posture there? Is the pursuit to do right by people there? To honor God, is that there? And if it's not, pray about that. That's something I had to pray about sometimes. It's like, my heart, ain't in it, or my heart ain't right. Maybe I'm doing the service, or I'm doing the, I'm doing the service. My heart's not right. It's like, like I have a begrudge about it, or man, like this messed up my day. Man, I wanted to go watch the Lakers, but now, I'm sitting, in a car, in a vehicle with somebody, trying to do some, some care, some love, some intervention, on someone's behalf. It takes sacrifice.
So I know the easy answer is Jesus, right? But like, what motivates you personally to adjust your attitude that way?
Yeah.
I mean, you can throw Jesus in there too. I ain't gonna take the go-to answer. Right? But I'm just saying, like, what I'm saying.
Yeah, like at the core, yeah, I think for myself, it's like, I want to see people win. At the core, I want to see people win. I want to see people succeed.
Why?
I want to see people win and succeed because ultimately, you have opportunities to have not only people flourish, but then they can give back to others as well. They have opportunities that you've encouraged them in through the gospel, through the love and the patience and the gentleness and the kindness that you've shared, to spread that to someone else that they may not have had before. And that's through the power of the Spirit working in you and communicating and spending time with them. But that's something that's really cool that God allows us to take part in, is seeing people restored, seeing people, healed, spiritually, but in those other categories that we mentioned as well, emotionally, mentally, even physically, we have opportunities to support people and give to people for their good, for our joy, and ultimately for God's glory. And so, and it just does bring me pure joy, like seeing people, grow, seeing people be able to, be in a situation or be in a scenario where it's like, dang, like, I'm underwater, right now with everything that's got going on, I'm feeling like I can't handle everything, like it's all kind of out of control, but moving to a place of, okay, not only do I trust God and how he's going to move and work in these situations, but also like I can start, having better coping skills. I can have better mindsets on how to tackle some of these things that I'm dealing with going forward and feeling a little bit better. You know, like seeing like the joy that people have. And it's like, dang, like that was actually really helpful and really practical. And I was able to apply that, you know, immediately. Like it's definitely joyous. And so that's me. What about you?
Sounds good to me. Yeah, for myself, yeah, you know,
What's your why?
my why. Why do I like to serve because you know, it's just I think it's kind of like in the same vein as what you're talking about, especially like seeing people win, right? Especially like a lot of people who just been losing for a long time. Like you just want them to win one time at least, right? And so maybe that's why I'm a Clippers fan. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Clippers. But I'm just saying though, you know what I'm saying? I like the Clippers. I like them. But you know what I mean? Like we trying to get it. You know, everybody trying to get it in life, and we just trying to make it. You know, so I can relate. You know, I can understand like how it is when you try to get on your feet out here. You know,
pray for Reverend Francis, bro. He's still being sanctified. That's all right. He'll see the light. He'll see the light. Look, Laker Nation all day. You know the deal.
I was born and raised in the city. You feel me? Look. I seen the Clippers play at the sports arena. You feel me? Yeah, to let y'all know I've been here for a minute. Y'all feel me? But like, my whole thing is like, you know, you just want to see people win. You know, you don't want to see people lose, especially when you know that people want to see them lose, right? Especially like in a bully situation. That's my thing. It's like I don't like to see the big bully beat up on people, and so it's like, you know, I'm like I try to work with that person that's not winning like that. You know, at the same time, like everybody needs something, right? And so again, you can be financially rich and be spiritually poor. And so, you know, I try to look out for those people as well because a lot of them have mindsets that really are driving them into further poverty, right? And anybody got that. But like I was talking about on Sunday, man, it's hard to negotiate life with a person that sees themselves as winning, right?
That's comfortable.
Right. And so like, you know, that young rich ruler guy, whatever he was doing, however he was balling, you know, it was hard for him to accept the message because he like, what more can I have? Mm-hmm. And it's easy to understand what more you can have when you don't have anything, right? Or when you're really lacking and you understand you're lacking, it's affecting your life. And so it's hard for a person who doesn't understand that to understand. But it's easy for a person who's going through something to understand, like, look, there's something better than this. You know there is, because this is definitely not it, right?
The birds.
And so, like, they'll be more receptive to hearing that message. And being there myself at different points in my life, it's like I understand, like, both ends of it. Like, the losses and the more wins, right? Mm-hmm. I ain't got all the wins, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm still trying to get rich, you know, within reason. But, you know, you want stuff, everybody wants stuff, but you have to learn how to prioritize. And so it's like, it's good to see people say, okay, I know how to prioritize now because I've had lack, you know what I'm saying? And I made it through that. So now that I got something, like I can definitely, you know, use what I've learned and appreciate it even more so. Like them $8 eggs. Look, I want my $2 eggs back, man. I like them omelets. I ain't eat no omelets right now. I can't be going through them eggs like that. But to make you appreciate eggs, like eggs, who cares about eggs, right?
The simple stuff.
Now it's like everybody ready to fight for eggs. Mm-hmm. Who'd have thought the day would come when we fight for eggs and toilet paper just to survive? You know what I'm saying? Goodness. It's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's my why. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, you know, just see the underdog win one time. You know what I'm saying? Go Clippers.
Pray for him, y'all. Pray for him. He going through some things.
Oh, man. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to be praying for our Chargers.
You know, some of the mysteries are not meant for all. Nah, but I mean, what do you think about, like, any current events that are, like, catching your eye or, like, kind of, like, fit in with the theme or maybe not? I don't know. What's going on out there in the world?
Yeah, I think... you know, I think we all heard about that 6-year-old at that school who shot that teacher. obviously don't know the details of all that, but it's clear that there was a disturbance there. It's clear that that kid needs some form of restoration in a real practical way, and spiritually too. I mean, if that's if that as a 6-year-old, that's the solution, we got problems, bro.
Well, I mean, like, I'm thinking about it from that angle, and I'm also thinking about it from the angle of, like, the mindset of guns at school. You know what I'm saying? Like, guns at school is, like, not a big thing like it used to be. Mm-hmm. That this 6-year-old is at school with a gun. You know what I'm saying? Popping off, too. Like, getting it in. Like, whoa, hold on, kid.
That's too much.
But it tells you, like, what, again, to your point, like, what is going through your mind where you feel like I need to go to school to solve whatever issue I'm having with this gun? And then what did you expect the outcome was going to be? Like, we know that kids, their minds aren't developed. Like, he's a kid, right? At the same time, at that age, you do have a concept of consequences, right? It's like, you don't put your hand in the fire because you know you're going to get burned. You don't stick the key in the wall because you're going to buzz up, right? And so it's like, what did you think was going to happen, little man? You know what I'm saying? When you popped the teacher, what you thought you was going to die? You was going to go to the next level or something? You was going to jump in the car or drive off to the other side of the map?
Hey, this ain't GTA, bro.
These kids living in a video game, bro.
It's real life. And I think
these grown folks too, though.
I think something we gotta think through and consider is, like, how do we, people in their life, in his life, how do we love this child after the fact? Mm-hmm. I think that's gonna be critical. Right. That's gonna be a major key. Like, how do we serve this kid after the fact? After you've done the deed, you've done the wrong, and you weigh in the wrong. Like, how is this child going to be restored? How is rehabilitation going to take effect, for this child, going forward? And, hopefully, as, they investigate and can get some resources for them, that'll kind of help, give them a chance to kind of move past this in some way. Right. In some way, because, I'm sure that must have even been traumatizing. Even if he pulled the trigger, that must have been traumatizing. Like,
that was loud, man. I mean, probably like, whoa, that's a lot of, oh, that's blood. Oh, that's gun smoke. Oh, that's the police. Oh, look at me, I have handcuffs on. This is.
It just unfolds super fast.
And then of course the other side of that is the teacher, right? Her family and all of her colleagues and even the other kids, right?
That were in the room.
The principal. Right. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is safety, right? 100%. Whatever is going to be done, there has to be some precautions in place that avoid this from happening. Now, are we waving them down in front of the school, a 6-year-old? Like, are we really putting first graders through, a metal detector and all of this? Are we, I don't know if that's the case. Maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe it's what we need. I don't know. Maybe it depends. I don't know. At the same time, as the other same time, something has to be done to ensure the safety not only of the students but of the staff, right? The larger community. So it's a lot that could be said there. It's a whole lot of different opinions. Let us know what your opinion is. Let us know in the comments below. Maybe you got the answers because I ain't got that part figured out. Yeah. But I think it's probably a case-by-case basis. It got a lot to do with common sense. It has a lot to do with simple observations. Mm-hmm. Like you're talking about the mental health of these kids. Like, I'm sure there were some signs, right?
There almost always is.
I'm sure there were some signs where you like, Lil Junior acting kind of different. Yeah. Let me talk to him. Son, why you acting up? Nephew, grandson, why you acting like this? Why you acting a little different? Having those open channels for these kids, man. So
have a community. I mean, that's huge. Like, because maybe the parents did have conversations with them. But like you said, it needs to be broader than just parents. It needs to be a collective, and that's why church community is so important, because it's like these are supposed to be and need to be the people that love you and know you the most and know you best, are watching out for you, looking out for you, because you just don't know. You don't know what someone's dealing with, where somebody's at, but that's the hope, that's the goal, as the body of Christ, is to know one another intimately, closely, so we can hold each other accountable, that we can care for one another and show up for one another, in ways that are meaningful, means in ways that are Christ-like, ultimately. Because that's unfortunate. We want to be praying for that situation overall, holistically. That there's some, like I said, some restoration and some resolve.
Actually, the largest sector, and that's a whole different conversation, but the largest sector of people, suffering from gun violence is self-inflicted. Mm-hmm. Accidentally or purposely.
Intentionally.
You know what I'm saying? Don't make no difference. You know what I'm saying? It's still self-inflicted. So, you know what I'm saying? We really got to look at how we handling these weapons and how we making them available to people. That's just me, though. I don't know.
Nah, big time. I mean, it extends, even beyond that, but like, drugs as well. Like, I was taking a training this last week, and it was like, the accessibility of like opioids is huge. Mm-hmm. It's not as lethal, but you combine that with other things, and it can be.
Yeah, once you get that fentanyl in that thing, boy, it's up.
You're right. And so it's like you gotta, again, as a collective, we need to be looking out for our kids, need to be looking out for our students, kind of knowing what's going on, what's in the house, and if it don't need to be there, it need to go.
Well, let me say this, like from a parent's perspective, a lot of parents are like either here or either there. And what I mean by that is like they're either like all up in the kids' stuff, right?
Right.
To the point where they push them like away.
Helicopter.
And they like doing it on the low. They still doing it. I'm letting y'all mamas and all y'all. I'm letting y'all know. They find ways, right? And then on top of that, then you got the other extreme where it's like I'm not gonna do nothing.
Hands off.
Because I don't want to, rub them the wrong way and push them over there. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and I'm saying this as a parent and also, as a person that works with youth, like there has to be that medium, right?
It's balanced.
There has to be an understanding. There got to be some trust. There got to be some enforcement. You know what I'm saying? But, and it's just my opinion. I think that having that balance kind of teaches a person how to live more normally in a society. Because in society, you're going to have extremes on both ends, right? But for the most part, as long as you go by the rules, you ain't going to have too many problems.
Stay
you know what I'm saying?
the
You can have your little issues, and, that's just the way it is. But for the most part, when you kind of just like live between the lines, you know what I'm saying?
The bumpers. You
don't really get into too much mess unnecessarily. That's all I'm saying, right? And so, there has to be that medium where it's like we're raising these kids to understand that you're gonna make mistakes, right? You're gonna gather ideas from here. You're gonna gather ideas from there. But most importantly, it's up to us as parents and as church members and things like that to make sure, like you said, that the village is raising the child in the way they should go, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, just making sure that we putting the right stuff out there with the right proportions, right?
For sure.
And making sure that they do know that, some stuff out there that you don't want to dibble and dabble in. Mm-hmm. Don't be out there dabbling just for the fact of dabbling. Mm-hmm. And some of these kids gonna listen and some of them ain't. But we got to be prepared, again, to your other point about the kid and all of that, to restore them, right? And to be there to, like, understand and have compassion, because I tell parents and grandparents all the time, I say it again, if they would have had YouTube and cell phones, in about 1971, half of y'all would have some splaining to do right now, But y'all didn't go viral at that time, That's the only thing that saved y'all. Y'all just the same, And I barely made it out of that generation, where it's real heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was kind of like in that, woo, Lord, hell. Listen.
Fly.
Man. Look, I would have been in trouble. Well, because, people do crazy stuff. People do crazy stuff when they have the ability to do it. You know what I'm saying? So
means
it's like,
and accessibility.
just saying, like, learning from experience. Experience, they say, is the best teacher. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that we definitely learn from Christ. If we haven't learned nothing else, is that the example that he set, the experiences of his life guide us in a way, where we can be successful. And so, like, just making sure that the kids are centered on knowing what Christ did and doing that, replicating that, as opposed to the social norms, whatever Dad said, just because that's his preference. Mm-hmm. Do what Jesus said. I don't know. Look, he's smarter than I am. I tell my kids all the time. The Bible said. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't me. Because I'm toe up.
No, that's solid. That's solid.
Yeah, man. So, what else is coming up, man, that people need to be aware of? Like, what's in the works?
Announcements. Yeah, so first of all, parent meeting. January 23rd, Zoom, 7 p.m. Be there.
All right.
If you dealing with kids, if you got kids, if you thinking about kids, if you thinking that you need to be working with kids, if you thinking you may possibly be thinking about you need to be working with kids, be there.
Give no breaks.
Ain't no breaks. We have, a lot, we're trying to accomplish. Again, we're trying to see the gospel go out, but it also has got to stay in too. It got to come in and be pouring into our kids. And so making sure that's happening, making sure there's opportunities for people to get to know one another, build relationships with each other so we can hold each other accountable. And to that end, it's got to happen. So January 23rd, 7 p.m., Zoom, information will be sent out via email. Be there. And then the second thing is the Black College Expo, January 28th. Right. It's the 28th. It's from 10 to 5 p.m. There have been times, people have been accepted at colleges on the spot. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not even at the age to be applying for schools, getting the opportunity and the exposure to see, where you might want to go, is critical. That's important. And we want to make sure that's available to you. If you have, questions about that and need more information about that, let us know. If you're trying to figure out transportation, hit us up because we want to make sure there's opportunities to further our education, so we can be well-rounded individuals.
Straight up. Man, you look. Ever since we got these, I was like, KBW.
Coast 103.5.
I feel real professional, man. I want to give a shout out to Zuri, man, for making sure, we got the right stuff up in here. You know what I'm saying? Because, look, I would have had one of them tiny microphones like this and my little phone.
Hello,
Yeah. And then when I had to talk about Michael Jackson voice, because, I got to preserve. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, I don't be blowing it out on that little microphone because I got things to talk about, things to do. But yeah, man,
I'm a smooth criminal.
Yeah, smooth criminal. You know what I'm saying? I rebuke it. But yeah, man, thanks for joining us. If you got any topics, any concerns, any complaints, whatever the case may be, man, just leave them in the comment below, and we'd be glad to address them. We don't mind at all. We here for the people. So. That's just coming from me, man. I think Armon agrees, we love to have y'all subscribe to this channel that we have here, share it with a friend. If you heard something that make you laugh, make you mad, share it with somebody. We don't care. We don't mind you being mad. We just want you to be happy again after the fact. That's what we're talking about, restoration. Hey, you be mad at first, but we're going to try and work it out, man. We want to be friends, that's all. We wouldn't mean no harm. All right, hey, that's it for me, man. I'm up out of this, man. What you got for Armon?
You know how we get down. God's service and God's service, serving God's people. That's it.
Straight
Reap with
up.
us always. See you.